views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today we have a guest named Olive Barber. She's an artist and she was a teacher and she's so energetic and very talented. So in a moment we'll be right with her to talk about what she does in the art world. Wow. Hello, welcome to my show. This is Patty Hunter and we have a special guest today, Olive Barber, and we would like to ask her several questions. She's an artist as well as was a teacher, right?
That's correct.
Wow. So where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Western Mass, which is where I live now, but I was born in the Berkshires, so a little bit further west than I am now. And I grew up in Beckett, which is a super teeny town. It's in the Berkshires. There's a huge population in the summer, and then a tiny population in the winter.
Well, how many people is it normally?
It was about 1,000 people that was year round, and then I don't know how many people in the summer. It was usually terrible traffic.
Well, what kind of place was it? Was it artists or?
Yeah, so the whole area there in the Berkshires, they have a ton of theater, and the town that I grew up in, Beckett, has a world-renowned dance studio and Jacob's Pillow. And so when I was younger, that was my first job, as I worked in the gift shop there, and I was able to see the dance performances for free, which was fantastic. It was something I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. It was a wonderful experience.
So as you were growing up, who influenced you the most?
Probably my parents, the way that I was raised. My parents were both very artistic, and they are very artistic, and they were antique dealers. So I kind of traveled around to different antique shows with them. I went to my first antique show, Broomfield, that week-long antique show in it's like a mile-long, week-long antique show when I was 1 week old because my parents needed the money.
Well, I'll be judged. I've been watching the antique show every weekend, and I got stuff I want to have looked at. You know.
Oh, neat.
I got tons of.
It was a very interesting way to grow up. I learned a lot. I was bored out of my mind half the time. I played in the mud a lot. I made some friends with other kids of other antique dealers.
So you follow your mom and dad's footprints then?
Yeah. So when I was maybe in middle school, my mom started painting again. She had painted when she was younger, but she hadn't painted in a while, and now she's a figure painter, figurative painter. She is somewhat retired, but she's still working some, and her work is phenomenal. I love it. My dad is also a painter. He didn't do too much when I was growing up, but he's very creative. He was always helping my mom, and now he's become an abstract painter.
Oh, abstract. Oh, that's interesting. It's like jazz on paint.
Exactly. You're playing with your heart.
You betcha. It's like a therapy in a way, getting rid of all your frustrations and So, where did you go to school?
So I went to school. I went to undergrad school at Brandeis University in Waltham, and then I went to graduate school at Lesley University in Cambridge, Mass, for teaching.
Oh, you're a teacher, or you were a teacher.
Yes.
So, what major, did you go to college, university, or?
Yeah, so at Brandeis University, that was my undergrad. I majored in psychology. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself. I got out of college and I had stumbled into the summertime job at a children's theater running their art program, and I ended up working there for 10 years. I was their artistic director, and it was the best. They came to me and said, I need a 30-foot lobster puppet. Make that out of cardboard.
That was
and I
beautiful.
would always be like, sure, let's figure it out.
I love challenges,
so,
don't you?
They always had really interesting things. I made the set pieces and the props with the kids for their plays. And that was a really formative experience for me. And then I kind of realized that in order to make a career out of it, I should go back to school for teaching. So then I went to Lesley University for 2 years for my graduate degree.
So what classes, when did you teach?
So at the Children's Theater, I taught all kinds of different art classes. During the school year, I taught after school. During the summer, it was a full-day summer program. Lots of different arts, fine arts, crafty arts.
Oh, you're crafty, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, had to do it.
I love it. I love it. Me and a hot glue gun, we have a very close relationship. And so then after I went to Lesley, I got a job teaching 4th grade down in Sharon, Mass. And then I moved out, me and my husband moved out to the Amherst area, and I got a job teaching up in Shutesbury. And then I had my first kid, and I decided that teaching and having kids are very much the same. The same patience and things like that. So I didn't want to go back to teaching. I felt like I was doing it with my own kids, and I didn't want to, come home at the end of the day and not have patience for my own kids.
Do you homeschool your kids?
No, so they're not quite. My oldest just started kindergarten this year. We have a wonderful elementary school that's just up the road, and he's quite a musician. And then my youngest is still in preschool. He's only 3, so.
Aww. I met him the other day. He's a cutie pie.
You sure did, yeah. He gets a little shy around new people.
I think he does. So you're an artist. When did you start becoming one? How old?
I mean, my parents were so artistic that they encouraged it from day one. I was never. They were never the kind that wanted me to draw a tree exactly how a tree looked. They would be more excited if I drew something that was more interesting and more individual to me and what I was feeling and thinking.
Be yourself. You don't have to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
What kind of artworks have you created? Like you're starting into wood, I hear.
Yeah. So in the past, I've done a lot of different things. I've done painting, and then I did a lot of collage work when I was younger with cut paper. And then as I got older, I kind of went into mosaics, and you kind of see similar themes in there of cutting little pieces and collaging, playing with color. I love all that. And so the latest thing I had been doing before this last project was doing mosaics, and I love playing with color. They were very heavy and kind of hard on your body to cut the glass, grout, and all that.
Oh, you did your own cutting. You didn't get it.
Yeah, I was.
You don't go to an art shop and get already cut up, or you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, so I had little clippers, and I would clip in the basement when the kids were little. And then this past year, I had this idea of something I wanted to do, and it was involved cutting wood. And we have a little scroll saw in the basement. It's kind of like a sewing machine, but with a little tiny saw that goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started making these sun catchers that I'm making now. I started making them in my basement, and it took a long time to cut the wood, and I realized that if I was going to do it like that, I would have to charge a lot of money for each one. It wouldn't be a viable business. So then my husband had suggested I could look into a laser cutter, because they cut the wood a lot quicker, and while you can be, working on other things, designing other things. So I looked into that, and UMass, the University of Massachusetts, is nearby, and they have many laser cutters. They have one that I was able to get trained on and use independently, and they have a voucher system in Massachusetts. They have an incentive program. It's called the Innovation Voucher, and so it's for people using technology for in their company, and so it's perfect for me. I get 75% off of what it would cost normally to use a laser cutter here. I work with wonderful people, and now I'm getting my materials through UMass as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
Well, to do laser cutting, is it difficult? Is it hard?
Well, I thought it would be. I was a little afraid at first. When I was first being trained on it, I was telling the person that was training me, I'm a little worried to use it. I don't want to break your very expensive machine. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. Everything else we have in this room is more money than that. This is the cheapest thing we have.
Oh, my goodness. Beam me up, Scotty. Beam me up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they had this whole room is full of laser cutters and 3D printers and all kinds of very cool machines. I just focus on the laser cutter, and it's not hard. It's magic. You design something on the computer, and then it cuts it just like you send it to a printer, like it's sending a file to the printer.
It's like a 3D machine, isn't it? Thing?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of 3D machines behind me. The one that I'm using is a cutter, so it cuts and engraves things. Yeah, so like you'll see there's a little sample of how it engraves, and then this is an example of one of my sun catchers that is just been cut.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're a very good artist, kiddo.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we are going to see how you do your artwork. Are you there at the place where you do it, or?
Yeah. I can show you how I do the laser cutting here, and then
good.
I can show you what else I do at the studio in a bit.
Yeah, okay, show us now what you're doing.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to show you the screen here. So this right here is one of my popular designs. It's an Alice in Wonderland here. And so I'm gonna send this to the printer, which is the laser cutter. I'm gonna turn the laser cutter on, so it might get a little bit louder.
What'd you say? I'll be all right.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you, doll.
Okay, good. So now I'm just changing. I changed the speed. You can change the speed and the power that you cut at.
So it's all computerized.
Yeah, just send it to the printer. Here's the laser cutter just getting started.
You don't look into it, do you?
No, it's really hard to get yourself hurt with one of these. They have a lot of safeguards, so that's very good. So I'm going to put my piece of wood in here. You can see I've already cut a few things.
I like the turtle.
Thank you, yeah. I'm going to get it all set. And then up on the screen, it's popped up. I'm going to give it just another couple of seconds to warm up. The laser needs to warm up a little bit before it can cut. And then it should take only a couple minutes to cut this one. This one is a pretty simple design. Some of my designs, as you can see, are a lot more intricate, but I chose one that was not going to be too long to cut. And here we go.
So, wow, you don't want to get my finger underneath. Yeah, I can hear it. You don't want to get your finger underneath that. Oh my God.
It kind of skips around.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's magic. When I figured out this could do it, it made all the difference in the world.
amazing what people come up with nowadays, eh?
Yeah. And so I make 2 copies of each one.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be very time consuming to do myself.
Mm.
Whereas
yeah.
the back and the front,
Oh,
I
yeah.
sandwich them together.
So it's like a mold, in a way.
Yeah, kind of. Yep. So you can see it's.
You don't really want to look at it with it. It looks like it's bright as the sun.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, there, you're good. Well, your designs are wonderful too.
Thank you.
How do you design your own?
Yeah. So I started out when I was just beginning. I didn't know the computer program, and I wasn't sure. So they have a lot of designs online that you can buy or you can have. And so I started playing around with those and usually tweaking them a little bit to be how I wanted it to be. And in tweaking it, then I figured out how to do it myself. So I've been doing a lot of designs myself now, which is just the best because then you really feel like a magician because you draw it on the screen and then voila, you have it in print on wood.
It's great to be creative. You get your juices running, man. Good.
Yeah. So it's almost done here.
I can see
finishing
it.
up the trees, and then it's going to do the circle around the outside.
How long does it take to cool? Does it cool off? You have to take it.
I usually let the smoke clear for 30 seconds or so, but it's not hot to the touch. The edges are a little bit charcoal, so I usually end up with black hands by the end of the day. But once I've handled it a little bit and I glue it together, it doesn't come off anymore.
It reminds me of being caramelized, in a way.
Being what?
Caramelized.
Yeah.
When you have never mind. Wow. So is it finished yet, or no?
What's that?
Is it finished yet, or?
It's almost. It's doing the circle around. So it's really hard to hurt yourself with this. If you open the door at all, it just stops.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Turning into something nice. I like it.
Yep.
I think that's saying it's over.
And so you see it's not too smoky in there, but I usually let it clear a little bit more for a few seconds.
Do you pop it out, or?
Yep, so.
Holy mackerel.
There we go. Sometimes there's a couple pieces that get a little stuck, but they're cut through. I can just pop them right out.
So what do you put on the back to make it?
So then I'll make a second copy of this. I usually use MDF board instead of wood.
Yeah.
So it's a little cheaper, and it's the back, so it doesn't have to be, you don't really see it, but it's a nice finished look on the back. And then I use transparencies. I like old school, like what a teacher would write on.
Yeah.
And I print different colors and textures and anything I can think of on them, and then I layer and collage them together. So it brings my love of collage. That's my favorite part of the process. Is being able to do that part, doing the collaging and playing with color. I mean,
I love
that's another
color.
part of it that feels magical to me, is being able to hold color in my hand and move it around and change it how I'd like to.
I'm wearing black today, but I love color, especially.
Yeah, me too.
Especially red.
My mom is similar in that, we're both kind of plainly dressed, and we we're not too flashy ourselves, but our artwork kind of
makes up for it.
Channel for that.
Well, we're wearing both black. Did you get the memo this morning to wear black? Oh, Lordy. So, where are we going after this?
So, back to my studio, which is my house, which is also my husband's office. So we at home, my husband does software engineering, so he kind of works with the other side of his brain. But he has a nice big office with windows. We had converted an old sun porch, and so he was kind enough to let me use half of it. So now we've converted half of that into my studio space, which is it's always pretty messy, but that's just kind of how I operate. And there's lots of colors everywhere and different pieces of what I need in kind of a circle from where I sit, so I can reach anything at any given time.
My artwork is doing lyrics for songs.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And also I crochet headbands and hats and stuff like that there, you know. That's my art.
Oh, wonderful. It's incredible when, you know, people are drawn to different things, and then the art comes from that. I love that.
Well, my lyrics are like music to me. You know, just like your artwork is like...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see you in about a moment. So we'll be at, the next thing we see will be at your home and your studio, and then we'll muck about with that and see you in whenever. See you in about a second.
Okay.
Be back in a minute.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, see ya. So we're back again with Olive Barber, and we're at your home now.
Yep.
What are you going to show us?
So basically this is where I do the rest of it, where I do most of the work for my sun catchers. So I bring my work back here that you saw me laser cutting, and I work on the back of the sun catcher first. I have a light table. I have several light tables that I've used, but this one is what I've been using lately.
Oh, and lovely.
This is an old X-ray viewing machine. It's real glass and stuff. It was one of the first things I bought when I was doing this.
That's beautiful.
I love it. So this is where I do the work, so I can kind of see what I'm doing. I don't have to hold it up to the window all the time.
Yeah.
And so then I have a whole container of scrap transparencies that I use, and then regular full transparencies, and you kind of have to experiment with how they look on top of each other, and like I said, I'm always just playing with color and experimenting, and so, you know, once I find something that I like where I want it, I'll take my pen and I'll trace around where it's going to be, so I could fit it on. And then I stick it on with these glue dots, so I don't have to worry about, you know, glue squeezing out and stuff. And it looks pretty messy from here, but once you put the top on, you don't see any of that.
Yeah, I thought that piece of paper, whatever you had, the tape, whatever, I thought you said, oh, she uses duct tape.
Yeah, not quite fine enough for this work.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so here's a few of my pieces I just put in the window so you can see. I have lots of different designs. I've done a lot of custom work. I was just working on, somebody was retiring who is a musician who played the Radio City Music Hall a lot. And so they wanted the Radio City Music Hall, so I was working on that. And that is very tiny things, so that was kind of challenging.
How did you do that? With the laser, of course?
Yep. So the wood part is the laser. I had to design it on the computer, so I took a picture of the Radio City Music Hall and I kind of traced around everything. It took a while, and then for these little tiny points, the trick with laser cutters is everything has to be connected, or it's just loose pieces. So like the dot and the O, I did it with a Sharpie. I can't do anything that tiny and glue it on.
Yeah.
But I think that the effect is still the same. So
fascinating. I like the background.
Thank you.
The screen.
Yeah. And so for the hangers, usually I have a hole in the back here, and so then I just put some fishing wire through it.
So when you put it on the window, what do you use to attach it to the window?
Just a little suction cup. I find that it works pretty well. You know, I think occasionally if it gets like very, very cold and the window gets cold, I've had them fall before once in a while, and they're pretty hardy. I haven't had any break. So, but usually the suction cup hook is enough to keep it on fine.
But when you have cats, you're not sure.
That's true. You need to get it up pretty high.
Real high. Are they big, small?
Yeah, so the one that I had on here before, this one is probably one of my biggest. It's a little over 12 inches round.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they go down. This is, you know, kind of one of my smaller pieces. They're definitely like, I would say between 8 to 12 inches usually.
There's nothing smaller or anything like that. It wouldn't really show, would it?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing some smaller ones, just, you know, so I could have some lesser price points for people who didn't want to quite spend as much or wanted to do it as like a Christmas ornament or something like that. I haven't quite gotten into that yet. So this year has been my first year trying all this. I started last January, really with the very beginnings of thinking about it when I was working in my basement. So this year I feel like I've kind of trying to hit the ground running and figure out, you know, how best to sell my work and how to move forward.
Oh, you do this for the community or just for yourself or?
Yeah, so I mean, I've done it for myself. I'm part of a group in the local area that is called Western Mass Makers, and there's a bunch of us that all make different things, and so we kind of share our work and share our pieces and share kind of our technique. And so one day I had them over to the laser cutter and showed them how it works and things, and so some of them are going to be working on projects with it as well. So that's pretty cool. I would love to do more. One of the things I'd also love to do is get into some more custom work. I'd love to do something, you know, when kids are going off to college and, you know, missing their childhood homes, I could easily do this, you know, a silhouette of their house so that they could hang it in their room at college, or, you know, a famous summer camp or a favorite summer camp, that kind of thing.
So when you do some customized work, do you take it, you do it yourself, or you get designs from
Yeah, so I would require a photo from whoever. It needs to be something that has an interesting silhouette.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a little bit more into, with the Radio City Music Hall and some other things, with etching a little bit. So this was my logo that I had just done, and this is all kind of just etched on rather than cut. And that can help when it doesn't have a super interesting outline, but I want to, you know, kind of embellish the wood. So usually I just kind of trace around it with the computer. It usually takes a while depending on how intricate it is, but it's fun. It's fun to work with the people directly that you're going to be making something for. They can pick what colors they want, and they can give me, you know, live feedback, which helps.
As opposed to? No, never mind.
Yeah.
Hello.
Opposed to just mailing them to somebody who bought it on Etsy, you know?
Etsy. That's one of the places that you sell them.
Yes, yeah. And then I did a couple of craft fairs last year, and I want to do some more of those. That's another opportunity for me to, you know, really interact with people and talk to them about what I do, which is a lot of fun.
Would you tour, like if they asked you to come to a certain city outside of your state?
I would be open to it. I did do one craft show in Beverly, Mass, which is a couple hours from where I live. You know, it kind of depends on how good of a fit I think I would be for it.
Yeah.
But I certainly would be open to it. Right now I'm a little limited because they need to be backlit. So I'm working on some setups that will help me be able to display them if I don't have a window, or, you know.
Oh, like a light behind. Oh, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to figure all that out.
Like have a little bulb behind it and just have a battery connected to the bulb so it will shine.
Yeah. So I have a screen that my has been put together for me here.
Oh.
So I set that up. It opens up, so there are two sides. So I'm going to make a second one of these, and then I can, it's plexiglass, so I can just stick the sun catchers on it and put a light source behind it.
That is very logical. So logical.
I try.
For the Christmas ornaments, I think that would be swell, like baby's first Christmas, or something very endearing to the family, some personal.
Right. So, something that adds a personal aspect.
How many have you done in wooden, with the wood?
How many, like, different designs, or how many have I done total?
Both of them.
It's
A and B.
I would say I probably have 30 or 40 different designs at this point, and hundreds of sun catchers I've made so far. So it's exciting because, like, I feel like you often find something that you're passionate about, but then no one is really passionate about the results of it. And in this case, it seems like people are enthusiastic about it, and I'm kind of in a different market. Like, nobody else is making quite the same thing, so it's a little hard to find my people. But
don't worry, they'll catch on after this show. I saw one on Etsy where you're selling them. Do you have a website to yourself besides Etsy, or?
So Etsy is where I usually sell through, but I also have a Facebook page. So if you just do facebook.com and then /Catch the Sun Design with no S, you'll get my page, and I post new things up there all the time, and it also has a link to my Etsy page. But if you're looking for custom work or anything like that, I always love new challenges.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to be able to do custom work too.
The one I saw that I really liked was one with a cardinal. Do you have one there?
What's that?
Do you have one there to show me?
Let me see if I have. I know exactly the one you're talking about. Let me see. I have all my pieces over here. It should be here.
I'm into birds.
I made that after I had several requests at some sales to do a cardinal. A lot of people associate it with loved ones and things like that.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see in this, but there's also some carving in the face and in the wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so lovely.
Thank you.
Oh my!
Yeah.
You did that carving yourself?
So that was I make the lines on the computer screen where I want them, and then I can either ask it to cut it or to carve it.
When in doubt, cut it out. Oh, sorry, had to do it. So you love doing this, really? I can see it in your face.
It's been my favorite type of art I've ever done in my life. So
is it like therapy to you?
Yeah, it is, and it just, because I'm happy I found it. As a mom of two young kids, you use only certain parts of your brain, and I'm constantly taking care of them and doing things for them, and this is just something I do for myself. And every day when it's time to quit and stop, I don't want to. I want to keep going. So I know that that's a good sign.
How did you stuff for kids' rooms, children's rooms?
I have some. So my older son loves my sun catchers, and so he's made a sun catcher before. He helped me design it on the computer.
Oh, he does?
It was just a star with a heart inside of it.
Oh, that's nice.
But I've made, because I worked at the Children's Theater, I have loved doing things like that. So my oldest loved Paw Patrol, so I made a big Paw Patrol bed for him. Before he was born, we decorated his room like the Muppets, so I made a giant Muppet 3D wall hanging.
Wow. Do you do murals?
I haven't done too many murals. And in college, I actually worked on something with another classmate. We made a large mural. But in general, I haven't done too much of that.
What's your favorite type of mural? I mean, what was it?
Well, what we made was actually kind of based on a collage that I had done. So it was a collage that we painted on these huge pieces of plastic, these giant pieces of plastic, and we put 4 of them together and hung them from the library for part of their arts week. And it was two people dancing and all kind of in collage style.
So where is it now?
Oh, it's in the garbage.
Oh, woman!
It's too big. It was plastic, so it was one of those things that it was a great experience. But I don't think that huge is my forte.
Forte, yes.
Yes.
What can you tell my audience about how to achieve or to be enthused about what they can do in life, what they can do naturally? Is it an art form, or is it naturally, or is it what?
I mean, I think that it's a little bit of both. My mom would always tell me, just say yes to things, you know, just there are lots of times in my life, like with that mural, for instance, that I was nervous and I didn't know that if I could do it or not. And she just said, just try it. You don't know what's going to happen until you try it. So just try to say yes to a lot of opportunities. And, if worst case scenario, you just learn something, and you say, oh, could have done that differently, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't try it. So I think being open and trying new things and collaborating with other people has been really helpful for me.
You collaborate with others?
Yeah, so like the maker group that I talked about.
Yeah.
We meet once a month, and that has been fantastic. And then online, I have different groups that I'm part of where we, talk about our art, where we show different pieces, where we, just even like the woman entrepreneur group where you're asking certain questions of like, how do I do this? Because you don't need to reinvent the wheel every time.
You're like a teacher with this.
Yeah, and a learner.
And a learner. You never stop learning. Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to start something new.
Life becomes quite boring if you stop learning.
Really? I mean,
yeah.
Don't. I would say to my audience, if it's new, don't say, "Oh, I can't do it." But if you want to do it and you really want to do it, you can.
Yeah. I tell that to my kids a lot. Just, anything that you want to do that's hard is going to take practice. So, if you want to get good at it, you just need to practice it. I think that it's really important to kind of listen to your own heart and figure out, like you're into crocheting and to writing lyrics. Like you, as long as you're being true to yourself, then you're going to find something that's interesting and exciting for you to work on. If you're trying to copy somebody else or like mimic what you think that you should be doing or what you think will sell or anything like that, I think it's going to feel forced and it won't be fun for you and it won't come across.
Practice. Hey,
exactly.
Listen, got a question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite design?
Oof. That's a good question.
I've never heard that one.
I think one of my favorites is one of the first ones that I really did by myself was this one. And so this is called, it looks like a fox, but it's really a maned wolf.
Oh.
And it looks like a fox on stilts. And I was reading to my son, and this was in his National Geographic magazine, and I had never seen that animal before in my life. And so I looked it up, and I thought it just looked so magical.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I put it in the setting with the fairies.
It's majestic. I love wolves, especially the timber wolves.
Yeah.
And I have done music video, spoken word. I did it backwards. With a Native American flautist named Ken Nolan, and I spoke about the wolves, and that's my favorite animal. Well, thank you so much, Olive.
Oh, I really appreciate it. It's been lovely talking to you.
And it's been lovely talking to you too. I was just wondering if we can do this again sometime.
Sure.
When you're doing a big project or something like that, you can show us the ropes and all that.
Okay.
So thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
And I'll bug you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, dear. Well, that was a great special show we did today. Oh, it was wonderful. Olive Barber was excellent, and what she has done with her wooden sun catchers and how she did it is excellent. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.